Hey everyone, I am your host Ray Ireland, and you are listening to the Soul Aligned podcast, where we help high achieving leaders and driven visionaries do what you love and live your purpose. So, welcome to today's episode where we're going to be talking about balancing divine feminine energy within your business. It's not a conversation about men and women. Let me just start off there and be really clear. This is about masculine and feminine energies, which both men and women hold and have and bring into their personal life and into their business. And so I want to start just by defining masculine energy and feminine energy. So masculine energy is that driven, motivated, focused. You can almost think of like a bow and arrow. Like, you know exactly where you're going. You're determined to get there. It's very clear, it's structured, it's straightforward. And then you have feminine energy, which is more like a circle. You can imagine like a lot of energy that's moving, creativity, flow, sometimes chaos. It can also connect with connection and heart and compassion and empathy and those sort of qualities. So both are extremely important to have, and thank goodness we have both masculine and feminine in life, in business, in ourselves already. But I think it is important, and I think most of us can agree that there is an imbalance in our current systems where there is a heaviness on the masculine side and less focus, heaviness being like a focus, and less focus on the feminine side of being. Another way we can describe it is the masculine is the doing, the feminine is the being. So because there's this imbalance in our systems, it's really important for entrepreneurs and new age business owners and the leaders of the next generation to really step into their power by focusing and taking inventory on where they're balanced or where they're out of balance. So, when the two can come together, that's when we can tap into this natural way of being as an ecosystem where everything is in co-support of one another, co-creating, right? And this is the potential that businesses have if they are to find this really beautiful balance of masculine and feminine. This is the potential that our earth has, that relationships have. All these pieces kind of mirror what is possible in our businesses. So to start this evolution in business, right, of being in balance and harmony with the masculine and feminine energies, it all starts within the business leader themselves, right? So it all starts from within. So the first question that I want anyone that's listening or watching this to ask themselves is, okay, where am I in balance or out of balance within myself with my masculine or feminine? Probably from me just asking you this question, there will be little triggers that come up. For instance, if you're out of balance with the feminine, you might find that there's a lot of structure, there's a lot of control, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of goal setting, but it could also mean that there might not be as much room for self-care or compassion with your clients or teammates, or it could be on the other side where maybe there's a little bit of an imbalance within your personal life. So do you feel like you are completely structured and you don't have that time to play and connect with loved ones? So start to look at it within your own life. Where is the imbalance? Maybe you're on the other side and you find that your days are totally free, but you're not really getting the things done. You're not really taking action and creating movement towards your goals and dreams, but you're enjoying the flow state, right? So neither one is right or wrong. I think what I've found through working with thousands of people all around the world is that we are just naturally desiring this union to come together. So that way the two can be supportive of one another and really create more support for more growth, more evolution, and more expansion. So after you look at yourself and you kind of discover, okay, what's happening with my internal system, the way that I relate to myself, or the way that I create my personal life, or the way that my relationships are working, then you can start to ask yourself, okay, well, what's happening in my business? Where am I out of balance? What side could be strengthened? So this may be in bringing more connection into your sales calls. That's a great way to bring in and balance the feminine energy. Maybe it's like really connecting from the heart when someone's on the other side and they're trying to find out if they're going to work with you or not. Like, how can you hold that compassion and empathy for where they're at and what they're experiencing? Maybe it's about creating more space and time off in your schedule for creative thinking and alternative solutions and just downtime. So that way your brain can have that time to recharge so it can be super focused and driven when you turn the on switch. Maybe it could be in having more care and compassion just for your current clients or your other teammates or employees. So there's a lot of different ways that you can see how to bring in more of the feminine energy. The reason why I'm focusing on this is because we already do have a lot of masculine energy in business. So I'm just going to, hope that okay, once all the systems and structures are in place, then this is what we get to add in to make it even better. If it was heavier on the feminine side, then we would then want to look at, okay, where can I implement more goals, more of these attributes of, okay, let's reach for the success, let's hit those numbers, let's get the strategies in place, that way I'm actually seeing the results come to fruition. So you get to see how, depending on your situation, you get to figure out what is needed to rebalance that. So again, these are like all best utilized when they're coming together. So when you have that clear sales process, you have a committed schedule with time, that you're working and time for play, a system to manage your clients with ease and communication. Like, you need to have those along with being able to connect more deeply. And when the two are combined, let me tell you, it will be a sure success, because that is basically us taking our human experience and putting it into business. It is so next level. Many businesses aren't doing this, but you probably are aware that when a business is doing this, all of a sudden they get your attention, right? It's that creative design, that magnetism, that feminine quality that pulls people in, also audiences, clients, and stuff like that. And then it's the masculine energy that's able to support all the new clients or ideas and creations that are coming in and say, okay, like, this is how we're going to scale it or grow it. So one thing that I want to add into this conversation is this topic is all around balancing divine feminine energy. So what do I mean by like divine feminine energy? We are all spiritual beings. So when you know this, you should make sure that your business is also representing that and that it's reflecting that. So how can you, when you're looking to scale your business, how can you holistically scale and grow your business instead of only working towards the goal with everything else, being like in flames, like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. So this is really the work, is to bring in that holistic sense of well-being, of success in everything that you do. So that way, if you are going for the goals, making sure that like, okay, are these other components, maybe these more feminine qualities, taken care of? Do they have the support needed while I'm focusing on the goal and I'm driven and I'm hitting it, So the feminine energy holds and reminds us of that divine energy. It is so important to remember this in business instead of getting too robotic. And one of the places where we could most easily forget that there's this divine plan that is happening and this soul purpose and this mission that we're on, it's in business. Like, it's easy to forget when we have numbers and we're trying to manage people and all of these like details come up. It can be really overwhelming. So the feminine energy helps remind us of that. It's like, wow, I'm on my mission. Like, this is fun. Creating a business, this is amazing. Like, I have a soul purpose. And if you're ever questioning it, you can just ask yourself and be like, do I really want to create this right now? If it's a no, then I invite you to look deeper and see, okay, well, what are you really wanting to create? And sometimes I've found that when I have resistance around some of the structures or things that I'm doing or planned in my business, if I actually just tune into the feminine and say, hey, like, do you really want to do this? sometimes it'll actually just say, and most time it's like, I do. And I'm able to give myself that space to tune into my emotions, into my feelings. And when I do that, I acknowledge and I bring awareness to them. And I'm able to say, yes, this is what I'm experiencing. And let's continue forward instead of it being this weight that we're dragging. A lot of times I think business owners, entrepreneurs feel like they have a weight of emotions or like this emotional roller coaster that they're constantly carrying around while trying to go in a straight line towards their goal. So just be aware of it. And the more that you can become aware of it, the more that you can just acknowledge that that's there, and the weight will naturally fall off. This is a key tip, y'all. Take notes. This is so, so powerful. And you know, when we're here to not only create success, but holistic success, that means we're not here to just win with everything else crumbling, but we really are here for everyone to win. And now is the time that this is most important, right? Like, we need to come together to unify, to create what we want on this planet, to create our heaven on earth. And that's only gonna happen when all participants are coming together. That doesn't mean that everyone has to have the same perspective or ideas or values at all, but everyone, when we can come together and support one another and play in this space, that is collaboration, that's co-creation, and that's really the representation of the balance of masculine and feminine coming together. So lastly, this takes acceptance. It's the main thing underneath it all. The feminine energy is great at self-love and self-acceptance. And the more that we can bring this into our businesses, the more that we can be unstoppable. Because as an entrepreneur, like, there is no situation, there is nothing that will stop you except for yourself. Truly, you are usually the biggest bottleneck in your own business. So if you can embrace some of these feminine qualities of self-acceptance and self-love, self-care, no matter what, no matter if you hit the goals or not, that's how you're going to be creating momentum and sustainable efforts moving forward to really be able to actually grab that masculine energy and go right for your goal. Really, from there, nothing will stop you from achieving what your heart is set on. So I will leave you all with that. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet, and I'll see you on the next one.